Hello, today I'm going to show you how I created this crab particle effect using SmartVat. That's right, all of these crabs are actually particles. So first of all, make sure that you have an animated asset that's ready to be converted. So we're talking about an FBX animation, a skeletal animation, basically, or an Alembic. So I've got my crab over here, and as you can see, it has an animation of a walk cycle. The first time you open up SmartVat, you're going to see a prompt over here, and then it's going to create some default setting files that you can access and tweak. But for now, we don't need to change any of that. So over here, I've got my SmartVat window open, and I'm going to drag the animated object that I want to convert over here in animated objects. So SmartVat, the way that it works, it requires a playable director, also known as a timeline. So when you have your animated object linked over here, you can just click Create New from Animated Object. It's going to ask you to find a location that you want to save this to. So in my case, I will go in, we're already in SmartVat, so I will go to Example Assets and FBX Crab. I'll save it here. Well, I already had one. I'll just replace it for the sake of this tutorial. Next thing I want to do is simply set the path where I want to export it, and I'll give it a name. Now, as you already know, SmartVat is meant as a VAT baker that also optimizes the texture. So if I want to, I can click the Calculate Estimated Optimization over here, and it doesn't work, and I know why. I just need to actually give an animation in the timeline, which I forgot to do. So I'll just link the crab animation over here in my timeline. Now, as you can see, the crab is moving. If I go back to SmartVat, the timeline is already linked over there. I can click this, and it's going to tell me a few numbers that correspond to some of the optimization that are about to happen. And if I want to go even further and view this, I can click Filter Mesh Preview. So the colors over here, what they mean is anything that's white is going to take some texture space in the VAT texture. Everything that is black is not going to generate any pixel data. This is very useful because when dealing with VAT textures, you got to use uncompressed textures. So it detected that my crab is never moving in some areas. So those are not gonna create any data. And then whatever is yellow is the filtered out normals, and whatever is blue is filtered out movement. Yeah, and this is because they're basically gonna give us two different size textures for these. So yeah, I've got my crab over here. Just want to make sure it's still at 000 in the scene. All right, everything's good. And I'm gonna click Export VAT. And there we have it. We have a crab that's fully animated by the textures that are over here. So the crab itself is 3098 vertices, but the texture that it generated for the position. Normally in standard VAT, where you wouldn't have any optimization, the texture resolution would be basically the amount of vertices times the number of frames that got baked. So mine is cropped, and yeah, if I show the advanced settings over here, I had it set to 32 frames. I forgot to mention that. So that's why our texture is 852 times 32. That's because it filtered out a bunch of vertices. And for the normal, well, it's a little bit bigger because sometimes we have neighbor vertices that are moving that are affecting the normal. So it's possible that a vertex that is not moving will still have its normal changing. So that's why it gets baked over here in the texture. So all I have left to do now is basically link the textures of my materials. I'll just put my diffuse over there and my normal, and I've got this crab. This crab is not a particle yet, and actually we're not going to be able to use this crab for the particle effect because particles, they come with a bunch of different um, constraints in terms of keeping track of the normal and stuff and which direction the VAT should make it move. So in order to do the particle system version of it, in the presets over here, you can switch it to particle. As you can see, a bunch of things change, but that's all good. I'll just I'll just change where I'm going to export this. And it's as simple as clicking export. And now I've already, whenever you click export, it's going to create a particle system that's already properly set up to use because there are different custom data. Well, actually, I think there's just one. Yeah. Yeah, there's just one single custom data that needs to be set. This is basically a curve for the animation. So if I set this to 20, now as you can see, they're moving faster. And this is linked to the lifetime of the particle. So if I make them faster, then I would have to adjust this number again. I mean, if I make the lifetime shorter. So it's white, it looks ugly. So I'll just link my textures again in here, put the normal. I guess I need to adjust this curve. And yeah, right now they go out in a cone by default. So I'll just set it to an edge and I'll rotate it like this. And that's pretty much it. Afterwards, it's just a matter of customizing my particle system the way I would do for any kind of particle system. So I can add some noise. Uh, I'll make sure the noise is only horizontal. I'll change the edge so that it's bigger. And you know what? I should add a floor. And now I'll add some gravity. And I just need to add the collision module and make sure that it collides with the world. And right now they're bouncing because there's a bounce over here. But I can put a very low value or maybe even 0. So they fall and then they just follow the ground like this. Just tweak a couple of things. All right, that's a good distribution. And then, yeah, some variation in size. They don't seem to be animating very fast, so I'll go back here and change my curve maybe to 20, maybe even 30. Yeah, I think I like this. So that's it. That's all there is to do in order to create a particle system that emits animated meshes. Thanks for watching.